All right, have and have not fans, I was finally able to watch this week's episode, and instead of jumping right into an episode review, I just wanted to talk about a particular pair of characters who took up a good portion of the episode, being Justin and Jeffrey. Now, what I want to talk about in this video is about Justin's character and who he really is. I mean, when we were first introduced to the character, I was pretty skeptical of who he was, as well as what kind of person he was, given the fact that he really mistreated Jeffrey in that scene where he pulled aside the cop car on the side of the road, took Jeffrey out, pretty much just verbally abused him inside and outside the car. So I'm thinking, this is one character I'm not particularly going to like. Now, what I'm about to say is going to be somewhat of a theory, and if it turns out to be true, it just goes to show that Tyler Perry and the other writers on the show are pretty much just pure genius. And when I say other writers, I mean the cast members, because I'm pretty sure not only does Tyler Perry give them like a skeleton script, but the characters do their own thing, spice things up. If you just pay attention, but again, you had to go all the way back to season 1 and 2 to kind of get where I'm going with this. I think that Justin is kind of like the physical manifestation, or his character is supposed to represent the kind of life that Jeffrey would have lived if he had never came out of the closet. And what I mean by that, if you notice a few things, that Jeffrey pretty much went into full psychiatrist mode, and at the very end of this episode, I really did like seeing that. We haven't really seen that Jeffrey since, season 1, when of course Wyatt was his patient at the rehab, and then at the very beginning of season 2, when he and Candace are out on the couch in Candace's apartment at the time, and Jeffrey pretty much read her like a book. Wonderful, wonderful. So it was good seeing Jeffrey going back into that mode of character rather than always playing the victim, because honestly, if there was one thing I disliked about this recent episode, it was the fact that the Justin Jeffrey thing was kind of dragged on. I felt like that took up a little too much time within the entire episode itself. At the very end, it really did pay off, but at the same time, again, I just felt like it was dragged on. Now, the reason I say that Justin is kind of like living the life that Jeffrey would have is because, number one, if Jeffrey was right that his parents wouldn't accept him being gay, it makes sense, because if you look at Pearl, she's like the Southern Belle type, from the South, old-fashioned traditions. Pretty sure, I wouldn't say that she's racist, well, outright racist, but she's kind of uppity, if you will, just looking down on other people, their house, their lifestyle. She even calls the Candace's house that she bought like too not classy enough. It doesn't look good for the neighborhood, put it that way. That I wouldn't say that she dislikes black people, but I don't know. We just seen her only interact with black people. Okay, I don't know. Maybe she is slightly racist, but whatever the case may be, the actress playing her is pretty much playing her to a T. So with that being said, it's probably safe to say that Justin's father, who's never been mentioned or seen, as well as his mother, wouldn't accept the fact he was gay. Kind of like Veronica. So it makes sense that Pearl would push her son to get married, because I believe Candace pointed out that he had a wedding ring, have a respectable job being a cop, which he pretty much abuses like Eddie from If Loving You Is Wrong. And then you just have to look at the fact that Veronica wouldn't accept Jeffrey being gay no matter what, because remember, Melissa, who has not been seen or mentioned this entire season, just throwing that out there, is pretty much, apparently pregnant by Jeffrey. And again, it just goes back to season 2, when Landon was telling Jeffrey, look, you can't be living your life in a closet, having sex with girls just to have sex to prove it to yourself and everybody else that you're not gay, but you are, because you are who you are. And he was telling stories about how he's helped, homosexuals in the past, those who have been disowned by their families, who's had, like issues, whatever the case may be. And he was going on to say that sometimes these people who are gay but get married to live a normal life are secretly in the closet, and they do reckless things. For example, going to sleazy motels, subways, on the train, just having sex with men and whatnot, potentially contracting diseases. It reminded me of what Jeffrey was telling Justin about how, look, you're in the closet and like you like to force yourself on people, but you just want to be controlled, and he needs to get help. So again, it really did resonate that Justin is kind of like written to be, hey, this is the life Jeffrey could have lived if he had never gotten the courage to come out of the closet. Believe it or not, thanks to Candace, love her or hate her, and I kind of don't like her at this moment. She did make a point. If it wasn't for her, he would have never came out of the closet. I mean, it was pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back when Wyatt, took his car and whatnot. But at the same time, Candace was the one to say, hey, you need to stand up for yourself. So with that being said, I'm not saying that Justin and Jeffree should get together. I really don't. Nah, I'm not really a fan of that shipping, if you will. I feel like Jeffree should be the one to help Justin or point him in the right direction, because it was pretty interesting to see that, dang, this Justin really messed up. He has the gun pointed at Jeffree, tries to throw him on the bed and whatnot. I'm pretty sure if Justin pulled a Candace, had some kind of camera or whatever around, he could pretty much expose Justin for what he is. I would really like to see that much, especially if he doesn't have any kind of remorse or change in character anytime soon. Considering the fact that he isn't leaving the house, I'm wondering what makes him leave in the next episode. Maybe like a call back to the station, or maybe his mother. So I'm really looking forward to see how that plays out. So with that being said, please like, subscribe to my channel. And I really want to get your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that Justin was written in to be a character that represents the kind of life Jeffree could have lived if he never came out the closet? And I will see you on the next episode.